which it's getting, as soon as we have a frost, I will take all of these flowers and the ones that, okay, the honeysuckles, they will last the winter and they will come back in the spring. The canna lilies, they have to be dug if I want to keep them. And I will definitely keep some of those bulbs because there's no sense in paying $10 for 3 of them if I can probably dig up 10 of them right there. So I will save some of those. My zinnias, I could probably save some seeds where those little petals are and where they come out. Anyways, you can save those for seeds as they dry up. My vermillionaire, I can actually take some cuttings of those and put them in a jar with some water and let them root. I've done that until time to plant, just kind of strung them along. I'll probably do that with those because I usually end up paying like $9 for the first 2 plants in the spring, and I could easily plant a couple and have them thriving by then. But there's a different kind of canna. There's another kind. Those are huge orange flowers. The darker ones are red. Have a couple of those plants, and those were called Cheyenne cannas, and they were kind of pricey. Anyways, I want to think around $10-15 for a few. And then there's the smaller orange ones that the hummingbirds just love those. They come to those first. I have that pot and this one that's kind of buried in other flowers. Those for sure I need to dig a few of. I wish the salvias I could. I did plant some perennial. Hot lips. There's some perennial hot lips that I planted that I would love to save. Those are really, really vivid red. And the perennials will come back. The soil in these pots has been in there for a couple of years. I don't want to plant everything in the same pots again without changing the dirt. But I use these pots to put some stakes in there, some big tree branches, preferably some white ones from an aspen. They look pretty in the winter. I'll find some nice looking branches from the recycle, and where everybody trims their trees and they all go dump their branches. If you catch them before they're all piled up and turned into mulch, you can have as many as you want. Otherwise, you can go to Michael's and you can pay $30 for 3 of them. Little 4-foot branches. I prefer not to do that. So I go to the recycle, I gather some pine boughs, try to get them fresh, the branches so that the birds can land on them. I want them to be steady or stable so that they don't come to land on them and the whole tree branch falls over, because they will not land on them if that's the case. But I will narrow this down to, I don't know, 5 or 6 pots. Right now I have Right now I have 9 pots around here. But when I put the branches and then pine boughs standing up out of them, it gives the birds a place to land. It gives them some protection from the great big birds that come in that would want to swoop down and just grab a little bird for lunch. Gives them kind of their own maze to hop through and keep safe. And if I just trim these plants, take out the ones that I want, and then put those sticks in there, and then stand up pine boughs around the outside, decorate them, make them look like a really nice bouquet. A flower pot sized bouquet for the winter. Those pine boughs will protect the plant roots so that most of them will come back if you have thick enough pine boughs on there. It'll insulate them, keep them warm, and through the winter. And then in the spring, start watering those pots, and flowers come back. It's happened for the last couple of years, and I ended up with lots and lots of plants. You can go back and look at my greenhouse pots where I brought my big pots in, and just started watering them, and I ended up with lots and lots and lots of flowers from them, which I sold the ones that I had too many of, that I didn't want that many of, and went and used the money to buy a few that I did want that maybe not as many came up as I wanted. So, and then I put my bird baths across the front here where there's space. Anyways, and I use my big elephant ear here, leaf ear, for a bird feeder. I'll put it on a bench or perch, and I'll set this all up so that the birds can come flying in here. I can hang feeders up here under this eave. And when I hang the feeders up here, then it keeps the rain and the snow and weather out of them. Gives them a protected spot. And this place is just buzzing with birds all winter long. All fall and spring. And when it's hummingbird time, right before it is about 1st of April, when the hummingbirds first start coming, there's usually enough fresh food around and bugs and stuff that the little birds that are used to eating up here, they start foraging elsewhere. So I leave them a couple feeders in the trees like that. And now they got their bird bath in the tree. But I leave them food hanging a little further away. Once again, grow a hummingbird garden here, transform it into a hummingbird garden with all the plants they need and protection for them to hide. Trees that they can get into and shaded feeders. And lots of bird baths for them. And this year I have way more pots than I want to decorate all up for fall. But after I decorate them for fall, I hang some Christmas lights in them. Doesn't bother the birds, just gives them a few more places to perch. And I really like these little teeny LED lights. I actually leave these burning. I gotta find one you can see the light on. Yeah, the lights are on in the daytime. I leave those burning year round. That's my porch lights back here. And when I step out here, we go to move the trash or something at night. It's lit up and we can see. A couple times we've seen bears across the street. mountain lion. I saw it walking down the street one night about 1:30 in the morning, and raccoons. I've seen them hop up in the apple trees, crab apple trees, and stuff right about sundown. And well, I guess just considering what could be in our yard at night, I kind of like to have it lit up back here. And it really looks pretty, having the little trees and around the bird baths all lit up, little white lights. And then I might use a few strings in between them, and a few of the pots do them in blue. So anyway, that's the plan, and I'm just letting the hummingbirds and the flowers kind of enjoy blooming as long as they will. And just as soon as they start dwindling here, I try to find those branches right away. And free is good. There's no sense going to Home Depot and buying a bag of little bits of juniper and little bits of different kinds of pine boughs and pine cones. Now, pine cones, you can usually find somebody that's got some pine cones that they don't mind if you get, but people throw those away too by the bagful. And so anyway, plan on finding where's a good place to salvage, use up those branches and get some good use out of them. I even tried looking for some branches here and there that have been trimmed that have berries on them, bird berries, rose hips, and there's a lot of them that they trim up and throw the branches away. And if you get them right away, you will be in good shape. As a matter of fact, I was down there one day right around frost. I don't know if anybody I'm talking to here has pigs, but pigs really love tomatoes, and they don't mind the vines either. And you would not believe how many stacks, like pickup loads, of tomatoes and squash and vegetables and things like that got a little bit of frost and that they're throwing away. And if food's kind of expensive and it's not going to feed them for a long time. But if you've got some pigs and you want to see if you can just collect a little free food, just go to your local recycle place and ask them, hey, can I go check and see if anybody's harvested their garden and thrown out the vines? Not everybody has their own compost pile. So, few tips for free. I don't raise pigs, but if I did, I would have brought home a whole lot of tomatoes and vines. And to be real honest, I brought home a whole bowl full of tomatoes that were green tomatoes, because you can make green tomato salsa. And some people make green tomato pie. I had one once and it tastes like an apple pie, but just didn't sit right with my mind, thinking green tomatoes, apples, not the same. But anyways, there's a lady that had a counter. She just lays them out and lets them ripen, and then she'd can up some salsa or whatever with them, or use them. And if they're still on the vine, that's what they do. They harvest at the store a whole bunch of tomatoes on the vine, and there's enough nutrients in the vine to continue ripening those tomatoes. So, anyway, a few thoughts on that subject, and I will go for now, but start finding out where those freebies are at your recycle center, finding out what you need. We just need to bring a utility bill to ours to be able to show that we live in the neighborhood, and request. And there's people that can get their firewood that way too if they have a place for it to dry, and some of the dead trees people cut down are dry. So anyway, few tips, and as soon as my flowers fade, that's what I'll be doing. So you have a great day, and maybe you can have a lot of decorations for winter too. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I will be back. Oh, excuse me. Talking about fall and winter makes me feel like I should go take a nap. Anyways, more than likely I need to go make lunch. Have a great day. Bye-bye.